began once the plane had landed and clearly has spiraled since then. The status of it now, as we look at it, makes it all the more remarkable that the 379 passengers on the Japan Airlines flight, at least, were evacuated.
Yes, my perception from the limited information available so far is that the fire began at the moment of the collision between the two aircraft, and caused by the forces involved, probably the release of fuel involved at the time, and the fire is now clearly, if these are live images that we're watching, and I suspect they may be just a little older than that, the fire's completely taken hold of the aircraft structure. It's a composite structure, so it burns in a different way to the way a metal structure would burn. And having dealt with composite aircraft, which have been very well and truly alight as this one is left with a pile of fibres and ash at the end of it. There are obviously some very high temperatures involved here. I suspect that there is fuel burning there, although that is conjecture rather than fact. And really, as an accident investigator, my focus is on what happened much longer ago, on how the two aircraft came to collide, and the moments up until all those who could be saved were saved. It's clearly, if reports are correct that everybody evacuated this aircraft successfully, then that is fabulous news. It'll be important for investigators to look into how and why that was achieved, especially in the challenging circumstances. I mentioned that when we still had visibility of the escape door, in fact you can just see it now, just where the fall of firefighting media, we're just losing it from the frame there. That was the escape door just forward of the wing on the left-hand side of the aircraft, which was clearly closed. In an evacuation, ideally you want all of the exits open, you want all of the slides to deploy normally, you want everyone to get down the slides rapidly. It appears to me that door was not used in the evacuation, so that's even more remarkable. It is something people train for, but it makes the probability of getting everyone out less likely. And certainly the images I've seen of the moments immediately after the collision indicate that the fire, as it started, was not insignificant. There was clearly proper burning going on, if I can use those terms, from the moment of collision onwards. And in this context, it's enormously heartening to see that everybody reportedly at the moment has got out of this aircraft.
Tim, on that note, when you've seen this in training or in real circumstances where this has had to been done in the past, how quickly from the moment that you instruct the order as a pilot to get everyone off the plane, can it happen? I mean, this is a big plane, 379 in total, 367 passengers. It seems remarkable that this was achieved in a relatively short space of time. How long does that normally take?
Well, it would be interesting to see exactly how long it took, and I believe here that we will have continuous video of the whole thing. I investigated a post-landing fire involving a Boeing 777 at Manchester some years ago. We had the excellent help of the late Professor Helen Muir and her team at Cranfield University, who did some groundbreaking studies on evacuation, looking not just at hypothetical evacuation, but they found a way to make evacuation trials much more realistic and produce much more valid data. That has informed the industry quite effectively in the years that followed. And in that particular case, we were able to learn a lot of lessons about how that evacuation went as well as it did. I would hope this one will too. In terms of being drawn on times, it's not usual to see an evacuation take less than, I think, about 2 minutes, and very frequently it takes longer. There are various topics people get hung up on around, for example, people taking cabin baggage with them. As an investigator, I have mixed feelings on that. I'm more concerned to see everyone get out of an aircraft in one piece, regardless of whether they've got bags or not. than to focus in on those things. I think we've got to realise that in the real world, people behave for reasons that make sense to them, and you know, whether we're fleeing a burning house, a burning car, or a burning aircraft, we're likely to want to take our belongings with us. And then there are other things, you know, the mix of passengers is always very interesting in an evacuation. It's very usual on an aircraft of this size to have some people with mobility problems, sometimes quite serious mobility problems. There'll be a mix of ages, I'm certain, from babes in arms through to the very elderly and frail. And this is rich pickings, really, for investigators to look at what's happened here and work out why it went so well for the people on that A350.
Tim, stick with us. I just want to have a recap of all that we know at this point. And Amelia Harper, Sky correspondent, has just joined me here on set. And Amelia, just recap the key takeaways that we know about for sure at this point.
Well, absolutely. These are shocking pictures, and we're still trying to understand what's happened. But what we know is we're beginning to learn that this aircraft might have hit another aircraft after landing. This hasn't yet officially been confirmed whether it was taking off or whether it was landing at Haneda Airport. Or whether it was stationary at the time that the fire started. But we know that the Japan Coast Guard says it's looking into possibilities that this plane collided with a Japan Airlines flight in Haneda Airport. And we were hearing from Tim Atkinson a little bit earlier saying that there may be interesting marks that he said that may indicate a collision, but of course we won't know that until investigators are able really to have a much closer look at this. Fundamentally, we understand that all of the passengers on board have been evacuated safely, all 376 passengers, according to Japanese public broadcaster NHK. And a Japan Airlines spokesperson says the aircraft that's in flames, it's one of its aircraft, Flight 516, from Shin Chitose Airport in Hokkaido, flying to Haneda. And of course, we've been seeing these videos on social media. This plane is absolutely in flames. You can see, if we look there, the holes at the top right where flames are pouring out of the window, black smoke there. So firefighters will, of course, be doing their utmost to put this out as fast as it can. But it's a highly flammable situation, of course.
We do have one extra line that just crossed, Amelia, as you're speaking. It comes from the Coast Guard, Japanese Coast Guard, and they do say that the Coast Guard aircraft was carrying 6 on board. The captain escaped, while the remaining 5 are unaccounted for. It's also believed that this aircraft was due to be carrying aid to those that needed it following the earthquake, of course, that we've been reporting on over the last 24 hours. Is on the way to Niigata Airport on the Noto Peninsula. We will bring you more updates when we have that. I do just want to bring back in Tim Atkinson on this. Tim, it does therefore sound like there will be some casualties to report. We'll update when we have more on these 5 on the Coast Guard plane that was unaccounted for. And it does seem more likely than ever that this was the cause of the fire that we're looking at on the Japan Airlines flight. Some kind of collision between this aircraft carrying 379 people and a Coast Guard aircraft carrying about 6 people. Talk us through the difference in size of the 2 aircraft. How big would a 6-person Coast Guard aircraft have been?
That's really difficult to say. It would be pure conjecture. I could take a few moments to research the kinds of aircraft that the Coast Guard in that part of the world operate. Typically, they'd be between, a few tons in weight and a few tens of tons in weight. Depends on the mission, it depends on the equipment and so forth. So rather than getting into conjecture on there, I'll just say I'm unsurprised if it's bad news about the other 5 of the 6 on board that Coast Guard aircraft. Obviously, it's great news about the one survivor, and we can hope that perhaps time will tell and others may be recovered. But the dynamic of the collision, the speed of the collision, the rapidity of onset of the fire, would all make survival from that relatively smaller aircraft very surprising. Looking at the marks on the front of that engine nacelle again, it'll be interesting to see what that was caused by. I'm thinking possibly tailplane or wing structure of Coast Guard aircraft. it'll be very important for investigators to work out the relative disposition of the two aircraft, the angle that the one on the ground was at as it was presented to the A350 on the approach, and the manner in which the collision occurred and the fire started in particular. I mean, this is the kind of thing which is completely beyond certification requirements. You know, aircraft are not built to withstand, not designed and not built to withstand colliding with one another on a runway. They are built to be inherently, you know, safe and sound in their own environment, but collisions are not something which is taken into account when collisions occur. It's kind of, you know, hope for the best and hope that all of the things which make aircraft structurally and technically and systematically sound also happen to bring benefits.
I just want to recap quickly what we're looking at. This is a live picture of Haneda Airport in Tokyo. We've just pivoted it away from the huge fire that we've been seeing on the JAL Flight 516, which had flown from Shin-Chitose Airport, which serves the Sapporo area in Hokkaido, to Haneda Airport in Tokyo, the busiest airport in Japan, and a fire broke out, as you can see, significant fire, after it's believed a collision took place with a Japan Coast Guard aircraft as it was landing or soon afterwards. It's believed that all 379 members aboard the Japan Airlines flight, 367 passengers and 12 crew members, were successfully evacuated. That's according to the state broadcaster. Though we've just had updates from Japan's Coast Guard, and I just want to recap those for you. They came in about 5 minutes ago, and the Coast Guard saying that the Japan Coast Guard aircraft was carrying 6 on board. The captain escaped. The remaining 5 are unaccounted for. The Coast Guard also did give us the detail that Japan Coast Guard aircraft was on its way to the Niigata airport base to deliver aid to those hit by the earthquake yesterday in the Noto Peninsula. We do also have, I believe, some CCTV from earlier, which we're going to play you now, which will include the key moment, as you can see, where the fire began, and the plane's still traveling pretty significantly at this point. And it's not an insignificant fire, only remains to make the achievement of getting all 379 souls on board off all the more impressive. Tim Atkinson, air traffic investigator, is with us. So is Roger Whitfield, a former commercial pilot. Let's bring in Tim just first of all again. With this picture, Tim, I don't know if you're watching it, but we're seeing that moment when the A350 aircraft carrying 379 people, significantly sized aircraft, caught on fire as it hit the runway. And the scale of that fire immediately as it broke out, is that a surprise to you, Tim, given what we've been learning? Not that the fire developed as it did, but again, that achievement to get everyone off the plane, all the more significant.
Well, that's the first time I've seen this clip continuing for as long as it is. And I think what we're seeing is the A350 on its landing roll then is in collision with the second aircraft. That's what makes sense of these images. It appears at that moment to lose its nose landing gear, because from that moment onwards, it's sliding along the runway with the nose of the aircraft in contact with the runway surface, but it appears to me that the main landing gear is still extended. We can see fire from the underside of the nose of the A350. There's clearly a huge release of combustible material at the moment of collision, and my conjecture, but it would be a fairly solid conjecture, would be that is fuel from the Coast Guard aircraft. So I'm thinking the Coast Guard aircraft has come off very badly indeed in this particular collision, and the fire there, which remains at the point of impact, is a very fierce, high temperature fire. We can see, good reason to be very fearful for the other occupants of the Coast Guard aircraft. As the A350 moves out of sight to the left of these images, There's fire taking hold there as well, quite clearly. The next thing that I'd be very interested to see would be the moments afterwards as the evacuation begins. I don't know whether we'll be fortunate to have some footage of that in a few moments.
We are waiting further footage to come in. Of course, we'll bring it to people as soon as they have it. You've got a live shot on your left of the ongoing fire, which of course has seen the fuselage now split in the middle, and a repeat clip on the right-hand side of your screen of that moment where the fire broke out as the plane was landing. Roger Whitfield, former commercial pilot, is with us as well. Roger, your take on what the pilots and the crew achieved in the moments between these two images that we're looking at?
Well, I think, first of all, you've got to say that we've just witnessed a miracle. The way they got all those passengers off that aeroplane is almost beyond belief. If you go back to one of your original pictures of smoke pouring out of one of the rear doors, the visibility inside that aeroplane must have been nil. And for the crew to have got all the passengers out is a miracle. There's no two ways about it.
What about the pilot? I mean, both whether or not they should have seen the Coast Guard plane, or whether that's something of a fault of air traffic control, or whatever the equivalent is at this airport.
Too early
and then linked to that, the achievement of still landing the plane.
Well, I think it's too early to say someone should have seen and someone should have not seen, or that air traffic control should have sorted it out. If you look at the pictures on the right, you will see that the big Boeing is actually on the ground. It's not in the flare. The nose is not up in the air, and the impact must have been nose gear and left-hand engine against the other aeroplane, the type unknown. Because you don't know what the aeroplane was, the Coast Guarder, and you don't know what its attitude was. In other words, was it on the runway facing down the runway thinking it was clear to take off, or did it think that it was holding short of the runway and therefore at 90 degrees to it? You really don't know what the visual aspect was. No doubt it'll all come out in the wash. The ground movement radar, the captain from the Coast Guard will be around somewhere in a position to tell all sooner rather than later, I expect. And we have all the crew from the Japan Airlines flight.
And Roger, just talk me through what you might guess that the mindset would have been for the pilot, the man at the helm who had these lives in his hands, as presumably he saw the Coast Guard aircraft a matter of seconds before he ended up hitting it, and the sense of calmness, I guess, that would have been needed to still, even though he'd already landed, perhaps bring this aircraft to a safe halt and instruct his crew to get everybody off the plane.
This would have been a total surprise to everybody on the flight deck of the Boeing, because if they'd seen it beforehand, they would have gone around or tried to, but no one did. And once the first thing you would have known is it had hit something. In the undercarriage, the nose gear would have come off, the nose would have dropped on the ground, there would have been a lot of noise as it was scraped along the runway. There would probably be fire warnings going off on the left engine. There would be a fair amount of confusion, to say the least. And this is where pilot training takes over. As soon as you call for a checklist, you go into train mode and you get things going. And the first thing to do is to initiate the evacuation. It's no good sort of waiting till the aircraft comes to a stop and then getting on the PA and saying, cabin crew, use door so and so. You've got to start it going, and then you'll get some of the people off. The fact they got all of the people off is a miracle.
Amelia Harper's with me here on set, Sky News correspondent. I do just want to do a full recap for those viewers that are just joining us of what we have learnt over the course of the last hour or so and these extraordinary pictures. Amelia, just to remind our viewers exactly what we've been watching.
Well, first and foremost, I think we should say first that all 379 plus passengers and crew on board have been evacuated from that plane that we can see on the screen right now. Extensive damage, extensive fire that we can see there. We're beginning to understand this aircraft might have hit another aircraft after landing. Of course, that's not quite yet confirmed, but this is what is starting to emerge, the picture of this incident. We can see CCTV now, that's on the right of our screen now, showing the plane traveling down the runway, having burst into flames. We think, looking at that starting on the underside, it's not exactly clear whether it hit something there or not. But the Japan Coast Guard says it's looking into possibilities that one of its planes collided with a Japan Airlines flight in Haneda Airport. And the Coast Guard has said that 5 out of its 6 crew are unaccounted for. So, of course, that will be an ongoing investigation for those people there. A Japan Airlines spokesperson says the aircraft that is in flames is a Japanese airline flight 516 from Shin Chitose Airport on Hokkaido Island heading to Haneda. And of course, this is one of Japan's busiest airports. Lots of passengers will have been there and will still be there over this festive period, trying to fly back and forth from wherever they need to be. But all runways at that airport have now closed. But really dramatic footage that we are seeing. And you can see those marks at the back there. That is actually the interior of the plane, the structural elements of the plane there. So really shocking footage, and firefighters will be continuing to try to put out this fire as soon as possible, really.
We do just have, Amelia, thank you for that summary of what we've learned so far. We just had a further line cross, and it comes from the Kyoto Tokyo Fire Department, and they're saying that the remaining 5 Japan Coast Guard crew on board the crashed aircraft have been found, condition unknown. So we are all hoping and praying for a positive update on that, albeit, of course, we have seen some very worrying pictures in the last couple of hours as it relates to them. A report from the Coast Guard about 15 minutes ago, of course, said that one of the 6, the captain, had managed to escape. The other 5 had been unaccounted for. They're now accounted for, albeit condition unknown. We'll bring you that update as soon as we have it. With me is Roger Whitfield, a former commercial pilot. Terry Tozer is able to join us too, a former commercial pilot himself and an airline safety expert. And also with us, Tim Atkinson, an air traffic investigator. Tim, I just want to come to you again, because we've had quite a lot of new pictures to us over the last 15 minutes, and if it brought you any further updates or insights as to what initially did take place.
No, I mean, unsurprisingly, we're focusing here on very sensational imagery of the A350 burning. This is all after the event from the investigators' perspective. What's of interest is to know why the 2 aircraft were where they were, and the precise dynamics of the collision which appears to have taken place and the consequences of that, in particular focusing on the fire. The images we looked at a short while ago of the continuing landing roll of the A350 after the moment of collision, when all of that fuel is released and the fire begins. Yes, we're just seeing it on the right of the screen now. That's starting to tell quite a clear story, and from that, investigators will along with all of the other material, of course, and I should say that it's almost a hazard of the investigators' world now, the volume of material that one must work through following an event like this. CCTV, everyone has a phone with them nowadays. People take a lot of video and photographs and so forth. In amongst all of that evidence, there will be very valuable material which can be pieced together to develop a clear understanding of the sequence of events here. From analysing that sequence of events and asking why did each one happen, we can begin to build an understanding of the causes, the fundamental and less fundamental causes, and building up a picture, and then from all of that, working out whether there are any of those, things which people refer to as lessons to be learned. Really, learning lessons from this kind of thing is not the best way to improve statistical safety. Aviation is a statistical safety game. The statistics are very good indeed, but they're not absolute. It's not zero harm. This kind of thing happens extremely rarely, but it does happen.
I want to bring in Terry Tozer, former pilot and airline safety expert. And Terry, in that moment after the fire began, to the moment when all the passengers and the crew were successfully evacuated off the plane, I guess a lot of the safety procedures that no doubt you often are involved with reviewing kicked into action and really delivered.
Yes, I mean, first of all, I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just a former airline pilot who writes about this stuff. Yeah, I mean, basically, evacuation, it wouldn't have been much of a question for the captain and the crew on the flight deck or the cabin crew, given the circumstances. They would have automatically gone into emergency evacuation mode, and clearly they did a very good job. Japan has an outstandingly good safety record. Japanese airlines and their whole environment is excellent. So it's very unusual for something like this to happen there.
Terry, is there credit due as well to the airplane manufacturer? I mean, this I believe it's an Airbus A350, French manufacturer, of course, Airbus. The fact that this fire obviously was not insignificant from the moment it began, and yet, yes, it's taken hold of the fuselage and destroyed the plane pretty much now, but held off sufficiently to give this window to evacuate everyone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything works as it should, and it's a huge relief to everybody involved. Yeah.
Tim Atkinson, air traffic investigator. Just want to bring you back in on that point. I mean, is it a surprise to you, an aircraft that's presumably fairly full of fuel? Maybe there was luck that it was at the end of its flight and there was less fuel perhaps on it, but is it a surprise to you that the fire, when we look at that image on the right of the screen, which was, as I said, not insignificant from the word go, didn't take hold in a more damaging way quicker than it did?
I'm sticking fairly closely to my hypothesis that the fuel released there is from the Coast Guard aircraft. Presumably it's departing. We've heard that in news reports that it was preparing for departure, so it will have a reasonable load of fuel on it. I have had a few moments to look at the kinds of aircraft that the Coast Guard operate there, and the data I see involves mention of the Beechcraft King Air and the de Havilland Dash 8, which are respectively aircraft of kind of around 5 or 6 tons and 20 or so tons. The fuel released from the Coast Guard aircraft, I think, is what we see burning immediately after the moment of collision. I'm going to revise my thoughts on the nose landing gear of the A350. I think that looks still extended, actually, but what appears to have happened is that the collision is under the nose of the A350, and maybe burning wreckage is carried under the nose of the A350, or something along those lines has gone on. The A350 would be landing, I presume, unless it's doing what's called tankering, which is where, for economic reasons, the aircraft carries a lot more fuel than it needs. It would have a typical landing fuel load of several tons. Interestingly, again, reflecting on the images that we're seeing, I'm not seeing what appears to be a major fuel fire from the tanks of the A350, which will be in the inboard sections of the wings. So I think that the fuel that we're seeing burning is mostly Coast Guard aircraft fuel, and it's mostly left there at the site of the collision, although some is carried along as the A350 continues its landing roll.
And Roger Whitfield is still with us, former commercial pilot. And Roger, an Airbus A350, I mean, we can tell this, of course, from the number of passengers on board, 367, who were thankfully evacuated, along with 12 crew, 379 in total. This is a big plane. The flight from the Sapporo area to Tokyo, I believe, is under 2 hours. So it's perhaps very big for that sort of length of flight for a European flight. But for British viewers' context, this sort of size plane is usually used for what? A transatlantic flight or something of that length?
This is basically a long-haul aeroplane, but that doesn't mean to say that you don't use them on short-haul routes, or the fact that I don't know, it might well have been going on and flying on to outside Asia, for all I know. I think looking at these pictures, for people who are old like me, it is reminiscent of the British Airways 737 that caught fire on the runway in Manchester many years ago. The reason I bring the subject up is that the Air Accident Investigation Branch, the UK version of it, did a very thorough investigation into causes and made some recommendations which fortunately were not taken up. Because if those recommendations had been taken up, such as every passenger put a smoke hood on, the UK version of it did a very thorough investigation into causes and made some recommendations which fortunately were not taken up. Because if those recommendations had been taken up, such as every passenger put a smoke hood on, the UK version of it did a very thorough investigation into causes and made some recommendations which fortunately were not taken up. Because if those recommendations had been taken up, such as
that largely at least procedures did help the situation, if not even work.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems for those on board the Airbus that everything has gone very well indeed. To touch on safety recommendations, from my 12 years at the Air Accidents Investigation Branch, one of our mottos was that one event makes for a poor recommendation. There's been a history of thought processes around making evacuations more effective, such as by one of our mottos was that one event makes for a poor recommendation. There's been a history of thought processes around making evacuations more effective, such as by one of our mottos was that one event makes for a poor recommendation. There's been a history of thought processes around making evacuations more effective, such as by one of our mottos was that one event makes for a poor recommendation. They're in use here and there,
that is used by people
but
all over the
fundamentally
world
the key
to
to a
send money to
successful
their loved ones in
evacuation
Africa.
is simply getting the
With
doors
SendWave,
open,
you can send money to
making sure
Ghana,
the slides
Nigeria,
deploy,
Kenya,
and
Uganda,
getting
and
the people
Tanzania.
out
And the
as
best part
rapidly
is,
as they possibly
SendWave is
can.
absolutely
Once again,
commission
I'll
free.
mention,
Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 074 98911 or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Star Radio. We don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And I said, you know, just have fun and stay blessed.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is
UK.
Starr Radio
UK.
This is Starr Radio
UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade, Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands, the hand that made me who I am. Same God now, yesterday, and forevermore. And that's what makes you great. You are God. You will never change. You remain the same to the end. To the end. You are God. One who took my pain, took away my shame. Lord, you reign. That's why forever call you great.
Okay, let me say a massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. I want to salute each and every one of you, and once again, let me take this opportunity to wish you all a happy and a prosperous new year. This is Starr Radio UK.
Love for you.
The first transmission for the year 2024. I'm trying to be careful not to go back to say 2023, you know. It's a pleasure coming your way once again. I remain yours sincerely, your one and only Archie. Let me say a happy new year to my producer, Mr. Francis Guy, and my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Mr. Frank Davis, massive good morning and a happy new year to you. KB Bossman, our money man, Mr. Dan Chabiri, Bishop Adeshina, Anthony Adedeji, Aziz, Chosino, Shamsuddin, Rachel, and all you wonderful people who have tuned in this morning to listen to us once again. It is my honor and a pleasure to once again come your way. And thank you once again for all that you do. Pastor Mombo, Happy New Year to you. Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, Happy New Year to you. Reverend Michael Siama, all the reverends, yes, and the imams, and I wish you all a Happy New Year. But wherever you are listening to us from this morning, give me a New Year's gift. You know how you can give that to me. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. So coming your way from Starr Radio UK.
All of you makes my heart beat.
Your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands.
Okay, so from now till 12:30, I'm going to bring you everything I need to know. For those of you who have tuned in for the first time to join us on the program like this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, and the travel update as well, as we are back to our travels and everything. And then from there inside, we go global watching, looking at all the stories making the rounds across the globe. And then we'll move on from there to bring you the details of some of the stories making the rounds, going to Nigeria, bringing you updates from Nigeria. And if Mr. Olayomi Koiki is still not on the road, he's going to be bringing you all that you need to know in this new year, as per the celebrations and everything that has gone on. Then we continue from there and we have a look at some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. At 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. Then at 12:30, we bring the curtains down for the end of the program. Felix, massive good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well. And all our wonderful listeners here and viewers in the UK as well. Let me take the opportunity to say good morning also to Ya Asantua and your mom.
All of you makes you
H. Linda Palian and John. Mr. Palian as well. Massive good morning to you all and a happy new year to you all.
And that's what makes you great.
BB Clement, the host of BB Means Business. Massive good morning to you and a happy new year to you. Dr. Yvette, good morning to you as well. Happy new year there.
You are one who took my pain.
Okay, 10:50, let me crack on. Well. Another year, another start. And let's see what I've got for you for the quote for the day. Today, the second day of January, the year 2024. A new year for you, a new page for you. And what are you going to do about it? Now, he says success is not a destination, rather something you attract by the person you become. All right then, so that's by way of the quote for the day for you. Moving on straight to the weather front. Let me tell you what is happening on the weather front.
I worship you.
Let me take this opportunity to also say good morning to Edith Morrison as well. With that wonderful music in the background as well. What makes you great? And for those of us in London and the southeast of England, this is how the weather is going to be for you today. Now, today we will see rain becoming heavy for a time into the afternoon, rain clearing in the evening, but it will turn increasingly windy with local gales, but it's going to be mild. Tonight we will then see a mixture of clear spells, patchy areas of cloud, and a few scattered blast-free showers. Winds easing a touch, but remaining rather windy in places. Temperature is going to be 14 degrees, the lowest is going to be 9 degrees. UV level, low pollution, low. Sunset 1603, sunrise for tomorrow morning, 0806 hours. And that takes us straight to what is happening on your travels this morning.
Oh, you great, great
For those of you traveling on the underground this morning, Bekalu line has got minor delays, Central line minor delays as well. The District line has got part suspensions, so check before you leave. Also, Northern line has got part suspensions, severe delays and minor delays, so make sure it's there. So whatever it is, make sure you leave on time so that you don't get any delays there. London Overground is suffering part suspension and minor delays as well. But on the other side, all the other underground lines are running a good service. London Public and DLR are in a good service there as well. When it comes to the major routes in London, there are no exceptional delays, and therefore you can zoom through it like no man's business. Also, on the riverbank this morning, I can tell you assuredly, good service throughout. Even Woolwich is running a good service. And then London Cable Car, a good service there as well. That brings us straight to the final segment of the travel update. That is the National Rail. Keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the road. That's what keeping updated, I promise I'm on. On the National Rail this morning, West Country has got minor delays. East Midlands Railway, minor delays. Great Western Railway, minor delays. Greater Anglia, minor delays. London North Eastern Railway, minor delays. Northern Rail, minor delays. Scott Rail, minor delays. South Western Railway, minor delays. And Southern has also got minor delays. So that's well, I will say it once again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those apps on the road.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program, Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm bringing the time now to exactly 6 minutes to the top of the hour. And what time is it? Yes, Global Trotted. So let's take a journey and let me tell you what is happening from across the globe. Yes, what do you want to know? I've got it all. I've got it all covered for you. Okay then, so straight on to what is happening on in other parts of the world for you today. Now, first of all, we'll go straight to what we'll be looking at. Okay, let me start it from here. In other parts of the world, there's an accident, a plane crash, where two planes collided in Japan, but all 379 people escaped the burning Japan Airlines plane on Tokyo runway. The aircraft is thought to have hit a Coast Guard plane with 5 people on the smaller aircraft unaccounted for. But at the moment, the information came through that they found that 5 people on that aircraft, but their conditions have not been set yet. And then in other stories as well, opposition leader have been stabbed in the neck in South Korea. Lee Jae-myung was airlifted to hospital after a man posing as a supporter lunged at him with a knife. And Ukraine cities hit after Putin vows fresh strikes. Russia hits Ukraine bigger cities, leaving 4 dead after Vladimir Putin vows intensified attacks. And then in Israel steps up strikes in southern Gaza. Residents are saying, Hamas officials say, more than 200 killed in Gaza in the past 24 hours. And Israel spokesman, Gaza war is a marathon, not a sprint. And in Turkey, the Turkish police have arrested 33 suspected of working for Israeli intelligence there as well. Lots more going to be coming your way from there. Jimmy Lai pleads not guilty in Hong Kong security trial. That is obvious what's going to be happening there. I don't want to speculate, but your thought will be as good as mine. In other parts, yes, in the UK, asylum cases backlog dealt with says cleverly, but Home Office figures show that total asylum cases waiting for an initial decision still stands at 99,000. And the family pays tribute to teenager killed in stabbing. Harry Pittman, 16, was killed just before midnight on New Year's Eve in a man's in North London Park. It's one of the story. And Ofsted inspection require more empathy. New boss is saying. Sir Martin Oliver says Ofsted must listen to criticism after the suicide of head teacher Ruth Perry. But somebody will say, well, if a head teacher took their life because of an Ofsted inspection, that is saying that, well, your performance is beneath the belt or lower than expected. Do you want Ofsted to beat about the bush when it comes to things like that? Not telling the truth about what exactly is happening there, so that we know that if the school or the teachers are not upping their game, we will need them to up their games. What do you think about all that? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. And when it comes to Nigeria, where we are getting to now, yes, river crisis, my decision to embrace peace, not out of fear. Fubara is also saying, and Tinubu signs 28.7 trillion naira 2024 appropriation bill into law. Some of the stories making the rounds there as well. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Federal government to launch automation of passport application by January 8th. And Tinubu New Year's address, harvest of deceit. That's what the PDP is saying. They are saying it lacks empathy as well. But what do you think about all that? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Moving on straight to other parts of the world as well. Whilst we go on and on and on and on and on, tap the dial. So on the African continent, Ethiopia and the breakaway Somali region sign a deal giving Ethiopia access to the sea. It's one of the stories making the rounds this morning. An award-winning South African photojournalist Peter Makubani dies age 91. May his soul rest in perfect peace. And in Cameroon, cost of petroleum products to rise as president anticipates reduction. So how come that if it is anticipating reduction, the cost is rather going to be rising? Is Uganda traditional Tonto beverage in danger? Well, their local drink apparently seem to be some way, somehow, in a bit of a danger there. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. In Chad, appointment of new Prime Minister sparks mixed reaction. A success Masra has only a few days to form his new government. The Chadian people await the development with a mix of hope and skepticism. I'll be telling you more about that during the course of the program. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial. You can't gag the church. Lawrence Sete to the police. The police in Ghana tried to gag the church, and they said that you cannot say this, you cannot prophesy that. Well, but this time around, the prophets, the clergy decided to go. Should I say why? Now they decided to say whatever they want to say. I mean, saying that, well, we don't give a monkeys whatever you want to do. Well, we have to deliver the word of God. Is that it? Yes. But when there is that sensationalism and all that thing, hyping and all that, so what do you think about all that? Okay, shouldn't there be some regulation, something trying to guide them as to what to say, not just coming out and just, well, we'll be talking more about that as well. Muhammad's promises Muslim additional Eid holiday. That's one of the issues or one of these policies that he wants to put across. Muhammad congratulates Efua Santua. Some of the other stories there as well. And then EIB General Manager for English Account Cluster. Others win awards at 2023 RTP Awards. Is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, some way somehow happened to vindicate the former president Mahama of cheating cheating claims of the Wasi there about as well, and we'll be telling you more about that. Also, Valerie Ann Saki, Rollins' speechwriter, has also died. Well, we'll be telling you more about all that I didn't know that she was the one who would be writing speeches for the former or the late president. But well, kudos to them as well. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 2 minutes past the top of the hour. Enjoy this music. And once I come back, I'll be bringing you Mr. Olayomi Koiki. The first one for the year 2020. What? 4. All right then. This one is from Kofi Boham and it says eggs in one basket. Well, put your faith in something that is higher than you. Enjoy it. I'll be with you.
Yeah. I was told when you want to cross the road, look left, right, and left again. Look left, right, and left again.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
You could die in pain.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning Show.
But one day I saw you when you called my name, and I took no precautions to look elsewhere, 'cause I can never be a casualty in your hands. Oh my Jesus, say I can never be a casualty in your hands. You have not let one person slip. I can never be a casualty in your hands. I am my safest with you. I can never be a casualty in your hands. I can never be a casualty in your hands. Nobody has been. I will not be the first. I will never be. I can never be a casualty in your hands. No, 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 no. 'Cause I have put all my eggs into one basket. That basket is you, Jesus. 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 Say they can call me.
This is Starr Radio UK.
I have made my choice. I will follow till the end of the road. I have no backup plan besides you. My basket is there. I have put all my eggs into one basket. That basket is you, Jesus. 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 Sing, they can call me and say, they can call me and say, I have made my choice. I will follow till the end of the road. I have no backup plan besides you. My basket, Jesus.
Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people. Archie on Starr Radio. Nobody does it better.
I love this verse. They said it's risky to follow Jesus. I tell them, leave me. It's not your business. You choose to drink beer. I choose communion. You spend your money on fun. I push the kingdom. You like to follow the girls. I love to win souls. You make your sacrifice. I choose to pay tithe. So don't advise me. Think on your own life. I have made my choice for life, and I have all my eggs into one basket. That basket is you, Jesus. 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 Saying they can call me. They can call me and say, I have made my choice. I will follow till the end of the road. I have no backup plan besides you. My basket, Jesus. I have all my eggs into one basket. That basket is you,
Radio UK.
Are you ready to talk?
If you leave me, I have nowhere else to go. My basket, Jesus. What you will not do for me, let it remain undone. My basket, Jesus. If you feel I have failed, I have no backup plan. My basket, Jesus. I have put
all my eggs into one basket. That basket is you, Jesus.
That basket is you, Jesus.
That basket is you, Jesus.
They can call me
insane. I have made my choice. I will follow till the end of the road. I have no backup plan besides you. My basket, Jesus. I have no.
Okay, that is a tune from Kofi Goham. Eggs in one basket. I mean, putting your faith and everything in the God that you know, and knowing that some way, somehow, He will come through for you to take you through whatever challenges or whatever situation that you might have found yourself in. And I believe that, well, there is a force or a power up there that is stronger than whatever you believe or you do. And therefore, some way, somehow, continue to keep on keeping on. Because the day that you lose hope, that is the day that everything goes pear-shaped. And you don't want that at all, do you? Well. But we don't lose hope. That's why we are still here, because I've got with me my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. He was on the road during the Christmas festivities and the New Year as well. He's been all over the place, but well, this morning is around the time to join us. Well, we're going to be making loads and loads and loads and loads of noise and whatever thing that we want you to know. But let me take this opportunity to once again say good morning to you, Yummy.
Very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers, and welcome once again to the new year, the 2024, as we start the year, and we hope that as many of our viewers from the previous year will still be able to have the benefit to join us on this very great platform known as the Starr Radio UK network. I'll come back again to you in the studio. I know it's been a couple of days I've been off, but it's great to be back after so many activities that we've been doing. But like I said, we are still here, and we're still doing our best when it comes to speaking to the liberation and the freedom of Africa.
Well, listeners, if you don't know him, if it's your first time of tuning in, this is Mr. Olayomi Koiki, my colleague and co-presenter. We bring you the morning show every weekday, from 10 to call it 12:30 when the program comes your way. And on Wednesdays as well, we have a special program that comes your way, and that is known as the Niger Voices. You don't want to miss out on that at all. It brings you all the current issues going on in Nigeria this time around in the detail. Call it a 2.5 to 3 hours program there as well. So we want to invite you, if it is the first time of tuning in, to listen to us or watch us. Well, there's lots of other programs that we're going to be unveiling this year from you, from religious to name it, social, anything, name it, you'll get it here. Okay, yes. You were on the road during the festivities, getting to the latter part of the year. Communities that you visited, how were their stands and everything that went on? Your interaction with them, how was it like?
I was, like you said, all the way in the Midland, and the Midland means that I was literally checking on many of our communities, especially those that are arriving into UK, and we need to let them to get settled into the country, especially those of us that have been, in the country for the last 2 decades. Many Nigerians are coming into the country, and they're finding it very difficult to get their self fit in. Up to yesterday, I was still getting calls of Nigerians that have arrived, with the COS, promised jobs, house, talking about a wife, husband, and 4 children. As I speak to you right now, they're stuck in the system. Yes, they are allowed to work, but there's no job. according to what they have been telling me. And that literally means a lot of concern, to somebody like myself, because if you've been promised a job in UK, you're arriving in a country where you'll be paying about £1,000 every month, you are likely, very, very likely, to be in a big, big mess. But like I said, part of that was to visit this community and see how we can do our little best, share information with them, and hopefully they will be able to settle into the country just like we have done when we came here, without much information some almost 2 decades ago.
Well, interesting. Listeners, Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios are telling you about some of the on-road, work that he did over the latter part of the year 2023. But, I thought that maybe we have the High Commission, Nigeria High Commission here. We have various, bodies in the country. But did you do that as an individual, or did you do that as a Yoruba person, or did you do that as a Nigerian? Why did you do that?
Well, I'm sure you know my stake within the community. In as much as we are asking for our right to self-determination, we are still also fighting for humanity. That means that whether you are in support of Yoruba nation is not the case, whether you are a PDP or you are APC, as long as you can find yourself in this country, we have to make sure that your stay right here is very, very comfortable. Many Nigerians, Japa, and that I'll be telling you more because the British government have made some new changes yesterday. And some of those changes means that as a student, you will not be able to travel any longer with your dependent. That rules have now picked up, since yesterday. And like I always say, a country where even though as much as the embassies there, they have a lot of workload, presently we do not have an high commissioner. What we have is the acting, remember that the president recalled back every of the ambassadors representing Nigeria in outside Nigeria, and that means that people like us will still have to play our role, just like we do here on the Starr Radio UK, the whole of 2023, on the Niger Voices and what we do Monday to Friday, takes a lot of, energy and work. But again, since that is the nature of what we plan to do, we were not in the media when we came into the country, and when we settled down, we were able to expand. Yesterday, again, I got a call from someone that have also arrived. They want to be in the media, and I'll be talking to you on that as well. Hopefully we can get them on board, for some kind of, voluntary or some kind of engagement. What we got to understand is, the UK that we know, like I was speaking to another media personnel yesterday, she said the UK we know some 10 years ago is actually different, because I did ask her if she still drive our convertible. She loves the open roof, and she said, I can, because someone damaged the last one I bought, by putting a knife into the whole, convertible. The country is changing. I was listening to you while I was coming on air regarding the 16-year-old boy that was killed just about 24 minutes before the new year. Literally, things are becoming very hard, but we have to make sure that the African and the Caribbeans, that are living in UK must feel very comfortable, especially those that are the new entrants into the country.
Well, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, and as Yomi said, we're not here championing the cause of only one individual. If you have a cause that you wanted to champion, we do champion it. And as he has gone around or get into the community to see how best we can help you or come your way or advise you, he's done that as well. So you don't get it from any other platform. No. You can only get it from Starr Radio UK and Koiki Media as well. So wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, just to end that one, you were trying to tell people about the Japa and the students who are coming in, who earlier on could use that system, the visa system, to bring in their dependents, but now they're saying that no. So just because we want to inform our people, we know that they are listening in. What is the new development there?
Well, the new developments, according to the Home Office yesterday, that you will not be able, from the 1st of January 2024, you will not be able to bring, your loved ones as love to in the past. That is now being cancelled. But with the exemption of those that are going into postgraduate, or if you're coming into a scholarship by the government of your country. But if you're just going to be traveling to study in UK, regardless of whatever course you're doing, you will not bring your family anymore. That will be a big blow to many people, especially those that see that opportunity, not just to leave their loved ones behind, but to bring them along as well, so that they can be able to stay with them. I mean, if you're traveling into a country like UK and you've not been here before, you don't want to also leave your loved ones behind. But again, that rules have now changed, and family of those that wants to travel now would have to make arrangements and plan whether you still want to come into the country as a student, or you are just going to leave your loved ones behind while you have left Nigeria. It's not just Nigerians that have been affected with this. It is so many people that will be affected across the country, or across the world rather. But again, remember that the Home Office and the UK government says they are trying to reduce the migration of people that are coming into the UK. But let's also remind ourselves that the contribution of the student in the UK, I was looking at it, is about into billions of pounds sterling. But that has not made any changes with the Home Office. And as I was speaking up again this morning by Rishi Sunak, again, it seems that his New Year broadcast, is going to have a big impact on many students across the world that wants to study in the UK but without their family anymore. He's also talking about the cutting down of the votes. Remember that the election is coming up next year, and that literally means that
it's this year. It's not. We are in 2024, so this year.
Sorry.
The election is coming on this year. 2020.
This year.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the election is coming this year, that means that the UK government is trying as much as possible to convince the British of what they say. And I'm looking at what the Sunak said just about an hour ago on their X space. I said that this government will clear the backlog of asylum decision by the end of 2023. That is exactly what we are doing. Now they have over 112,000 cases that are now clear with a lower grant rate than last year. A key part of our plan to stop the vote.
Okay, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. Information that you'll not get it from anywhere. We make sure that we come in and it's holistic, so we bring you everything that will help your life or whatever move that you want to make for the year 2024 as well. Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and let's kick off with the president's broadcast for the year 2024, and saying that, well, whatever promises that he was giving, but the Labour Party and opposition parties have come in to say that, well, whatever he said lacks empathy. There is no, the speech to Nigeria, the high level of hypocrisy, deceit, and lack of empathy. So, you can say all stuff, but at the end of the day, you can say that our GDP has grown by how many 100%. But if people don't feel it in their pockets and their way of life is still worse, and insecurity, and everything that is going on, then they will tell you that whatever you said is actually gibberish. Yomi, tell us more.
Well, the president spoke. We see if we can get a sound clip before we leave the program. We're working on that right now. This is now, the president that have been on seat for almost 6 months. There's a lot of what Nigerians are saying, the reaction of this government since the government came in. Even the Amnesty International has already condemned, this government for not, working towards, human rights. Human rights is very, very important. It's also a key part of any government as well. But let's go back to what we know so far, and some of the reaction I'll be telling you. But like you said earlier, the president spoke on the 1st of July, 1st of this month rather, and there's a lot that was discussed. Like I said, many Nigerians are still not convinced, and like the Labour Party says, this party says that the speech that was conveyed to Nigerians, the high level of hypocrisy, deceit, lack of empathy which has become the guiding principle of the All Progressive Congress. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio. But by the time I come back, I would have more details of what the president actually said, on that particular speech.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, pertaining to the president's speech, is trying to get us a sound bite from that as well. But wherever you are, just stay tuned whilst he tries to do that. But interestingly, as a whole, how has Nigerians, this a statement coming from the political parties, but how has Nigerians as a whole taken or accepted that speech? Can they actually affiliate with it, or they see that, hey, this one, how has it been, Yomi?
Well, let's first pick up on and I was actually saying this just this morning because I've been awake for a few hours now. Reno Mokere is well known on the social media space. He was one time also working for the former president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan while he was in office. He lives there in UK as well, but he's also one person that critiques and also supports Tinubu. But it seems that he did not really have any good time with what Tinubu said yesterday. Let's first listen to what the president said. I think then we can come back to the reaction of what the whole speech lasted about 15 minutes. We're not going to be able to play all that because of time constraint. What we're going to do is we're going to pick on some of the things that the president said yesterday.
Peaceful, orderly, and successful transfer of power from one administration to another, marking the yet another remarkable step in our 24 years of unbroken democracy. It was a year you, the gracious people of this blessed nation, entrust your faith in me with a clear mandate to make our country better, to revamp our economy, restore our security within our borders, refertilize our country industrial sector, boost agricultural production, increase national productivity, and set our country on an irreversible path towards national progress that we and future generation will forever be proud of.
Well, future generation will be proud of. Do Nigerians agree with this administration on that? They say the reaction is traveling very fast. There's a lot of reaction to that. And let me now pick what Reno Mokere said yesterday. What was missing from President Bola Tinubu's New Year's Day broadcast to the nation was sacrifice. Yes, he admitted that the economy was tottering when he took over on the May 29, 2023. He has had to this difficult decision that has been telling on Nigerian people and has resulted in inflation. The current inflation in Nigeria is about 28% as we speak right now. But where is his own sacrifice? Where is the sacrifice of this government? He went further to say, it is not enough for him to ask us to play our part. We must first see that the government is living up to its commitment. When a country faces economic challenges, leadership cannot expect the people to make sacrifice without first making them. What I expect to hear from the president was this: all the presidential jet has to be sold off except 2 for him to be able to use. All the foreign travel by public and civil servants must also be on embargo. Let's now see some of the reaction from what people are saying. According to Summarize, Reno Mokere critiques President Bola Tinubu's broadcast, emphasized the absence of personal governmental sacrifice in addressing the economic challenges, suggesting the measures such as selling the presidential jet. According to the minister as well on Twitter, says, your insight on President Tinubu's message are spot on. A call for leadership, sacrifice, concrete measures to address the economy challenges as well. Also, we take one more before I come back again to you in the studio. This is still the Starr Radio UK, the morning show, as we kickstart the 2024, the second day of the month of January, with myself and Archie. Now, the president also, some say, you have said it all. They wait for the obedient comment because you can see that people are still playing politics right there. But the most important thing is that many Nigerians are complaining. Let's listen to this doctor. This was last week, complaining not having access to his own hard-earned currency. There's a swear word in between in case that pops up. Please bear with us.
But what is it turning into? No, what is our society turning into? It's not an account of been running. It's not an account for 1,000. It's an account for millions. No, you cannot stop it because somebody needs to hear this. Because I don't want my patients to die. I just want to pay for 14 patients' medication. I'm not asking GT to do me any 14 favor. Just to pay for my patient's medication. GT is telling me I cannot operate my account.
Well, he has money in the account, but he can't have access to the money because GT is saying that they will need 48 hours before he can have access to the money. But this is what President Bola Tinubu said some few months back.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not.
Well, you had it there, Mr. Archie. I'll come back again to you in the studio with the Money Show at 28 minutes past 11 as we talk about the most populous black nation in Africa. And some say, are we sure it's still an elephant or just the ant?
Elephant or an ant? Now, interestingly, people were commenting about the sacrifices of the government, and we're talking about the fact that if government should even get rid some of the presidential fleet. Okay, but in Africa, or when it comes to when they say tighten your belt, we don't see certain things happening. They live their lives, the opulence, whatever money that they are making. Have there been any cases where governors or members of the government have decided that look, we want to show some a good example by taking a cut from our salaries? Have there been anything of the sort?
Well, there hasn't been any such of salary, being reduced by this administration. But what this administration is promising Nigerians is that they will fight corruption headlong, and maybe that is going to happen or not. We will probably find out. But what I can confirm is that just some few hours before I was coming on air, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have now suspended Halima Shehu as head of the National Investment Agency over corruption allegations. Is that a good start? Let's look at the reaction of Nigerians. According to one says, Peter Obi is still my president. Corruption, suspend corruption. We are in for a big ride. Which among them in his cabinet is not corrupt? Emeka Okpara say, women have joined the League of Looting. They are leading in corruption now. So you can tell that even though this should be some kind of amazement, it just makes me think about a comedy skit I watched yesterday. The husband wanted to surprise the girlfriend to become married. And she said, after 11 years with 6 months abortion, I beg, put the ring and let us have some food.
Yeah, we seen it. My friend will say,
after 11 years, 6 abortion,
I'm
surprised about this.
Nothing surprising.
You only bought the wine, there's no food.
Well, listeners, well.
Very creative people.
It is Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios at 11:30. Now let's come to the River State crisis. Now, we thought that Fubara, everything had been sorted out. We remember that when they came in to say that there have been peace, people were coming out to say no, nothing has been agreed to. Now, so far, a new year. Is there going to be any peace around those areas, or is it going to have Wike and all these people just doing all that sort? Yomi.
Wike, was one of the service in the church, and he actually says that he didn't intervene. It was just that the president decided to intervene. But you're quite right. River State has a lot of money, and wherever there's money, there's always, these fight between, one person or the other. But it seems that, Wike and Fubara is still an ongoing situation. The River State governor, Simeleye Fubara, has actually said that the decision that was taken by his own administration in the political crisis in the state were not born out of fear, but for peace to reign. The peace that everybody wants, sometimes, will have to be somebody have to compromise. Also, he explained saying that the resignation of the faction Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Edison Eha, from his position and the legislature was in the interest of the peace. So we have just about a few days ago, the House of Assembly Speaker have resigned, but he's now fully still on the board with the governor as well. Fubara disclosed this while he was addressing the river people at the state banquet that was held at the government house in Port Harcourt yesterday to celebrate the New Year.
Okay, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. We'll go back to one other story before I hand over to Mr. Olayomi Koiki to bring you all the others that is going on. And this pertains to what has happened to the, these attacks that took place, or the bombing that took place. There was an attack that took place in Plateau. Is it Plateau State?
Plateau State, yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, what has gone on so far? What has been the reaction of the state? Because some people are of the view that no, the right thing is not being done for them, and government is saying all sorts. But do people believe that they're going to get the security that they need so that they can go about their duties? Yomi.
Well, when it comes to Plateau State, it seems that the attack continue to happen. Even after the one that we talked about, there's been some few more attacks in Plateau State. Security is a lot of concern to so many of us in Nigeria and those of us outside as well. But what we should be asking is, who are those behind these, and what is the real game plan? Is this something done to wipe out people in that particular area, or is this something that the president must now really look into? Like I said, Matawale leads the service chiefs to Plateau State, says that Nigeria will see improvement. We've been hearing this. I was speaking again on Reno that says that Buhari, the former president, promised that there will be, after the attack in 2018, in the same Plateau State, that we will see justice. But again, there's never been justice. 6 years, just after Buhari left as well. But Bello Matawale, the Minister for State of Defense, led military service chief on Sunday to Plateau State. The minister was also accompanied by Gabriel Musa, the Minister of Defense chief, Taurid Lagbaja, the Army chief, Emmanuel Ogala, the Navy chief, and Hassan Abubakar, the chief of air staff. So you can see the caliber of people that travel with him on Sunday. Also there was, Betu Edo, the Humanitarian Services and Poverty Elevation Minister, was also at that particular train. Well, remember that on Christmas Eve, over 200 people were killed. After that, we've seen more attack as well. Let's hope that we will see a less attack with the caliber of this security that have been traveling into Plateau State to bring peace in that particular communities that have been affected.
Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The first program for the year 2022 with Mr. Olayomi Koiki in what did I say? 2024? I said in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios. Today is the 2nd. That's what I wanted to say, the 2nd of January. So wherever you are, thank you very much for joining us as well. Let's now move on with Yomi to bring us all the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, sir.
Well, let's go back into some of the headlines coming out of Nigeria as we say Happy New Year to all our listeners. And again, as we arrive into the 2024, there's still a lot of work needs to be done, especially on all front, from those that are campaigning for the right to self-determination and those that still believe whether the country should stay in one block or the other. Tinubu signs 28.7 trillion, the 2024 appropriation bill into law. How is that going to have any impact on the 774 local government? How is that going to make any changes to the lives of the average Nigerians, regardless of wherever they are, in the country, from welfare to security? We will continue to monitor that as well. Let's take a look into that because that is most important, because many Nigerians want to see changes, but again, sometimes when we talk about budget, we've been hearing budget since 1999, but less of impact. President Bola Tinubu has now signed the 28.7 trillion 2024 appropriation bill into law. He ascertained to the 2024 appropriation bill at the brief ceremony at the presidential villa in Abuja on Monday. Among those with the president while he was signing were the president of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, also the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Abubakar, the National Security Advisor, Nuru Ribadu were also all at hand. And like I said, I will be monitoring, we'll be focusing on this budget and hope that the MDAs and anyone that wants to take out of the money without doing the right thing, when that flags up onto our desk, we'll be coming up to say as much of that, because we have been hearing of budget, but the impact of such budget doesn't get into the grassroots. Most importantly, with 774 local government, the impact of such budget must now be felt by many Nigerians. So that takes me straight to the next headline coming again, as we continue to pray for those in Plateau State. This is coming from the Christian Association of Nigeria, urge Nigerians, to pray against killings in 2024. Well, as much as I would like to say amen, but that is subject to the government putting the necessary intelligence to protect Nigerians, rather than saying we should continue to pray as well. Ondo State, we know that the former governor of Ondo State died last couple of days, weeks, but now the new governor, Aye Datiwa Lucky, Ondo State poll not to settle scores. We hope that peace will reign there, especially after the death of the former governor Akeredolu, popularly known as Aketi. He was also the one-time president of the Nigerian Bar Association. Plateau State declares 1 week of mourning as we continue to find out more situation as well. Federal government suspend accreditation of degree certificate from Benin Republic and Togo. Let's look into that. The federal government has now suspended the accreditation and the evaluation of degree certificate from Benin Republic and Togo. Why is this? This report leads to credential to suspicions that some Nigerians deploy nefarious means and unconsolidable method to get a degree, with the end of objective of getting graduated job opportunities for which they are not qualified. This is now coming from the spokesperson of the Ministry of Education, Augustina Obilo Duru, said this today. The Federal Ministry of Education fervently decries such act with effect from the 2nd of January 2024. They are now suspending evaluation, accreditation of degree certificate from Benin Republic and Togo because of, again, corruption. According to the outcome of an investigation that will now involve the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria and these two countries, the ministry responsible for education in the two countries, as well as the Department of State Security Services and the National Youth Service Corps. So you can tell that many Nigerians are still finding their way to try and get the degree that the government says it is also part of corruption. So you can as well say that many corruption continue. Lot were discussed over the weekend as well. I'll be telling you a little bit more from what Professor Banji Akintoye, the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group, actually said yesterday, and let's see if we can bring that in quickly into the conversation, because the time is well spent already. It is exactly 11:40 here in UK. 1 hour ahead. The weather is getting very hot. In terms of the wind, according to the Met Office. Let's pick on what Professor Adebanji Akintoye said to the Yorubas during the New Year broadcast yesterday as well. Once again, it is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and this is how Professor spoke to us yesterday.
According to estimates, 3.1 million people go on a radio. Àní gbogbo rálì wọ̀nyí kò sẹ́ni kankan tó farapa, kò sẹ́ni tó tó jásí ẹnìkan, kò sẹ́ni tó dẹ́rù bẹ́ẹ̀ nìkan. Ọlọ́pàá ò dẹ́rù bọ́, ọmọ kankan ò farapa. So àwọn alàgbà sójà wa tó yẹ ká máa yẹ sí ẹlọ́tọ̀rọ̀, àwa ò fi security threat ní Nàìjíríà, we are not. Wọ́n mi ò bá fẹnu bá kinní kan ẹ lè sọ pé òkúrọ̀ ni bàbá ìyá àtàwọn self-determination struggle wẹ̀. Àwa Yorùbá àkìsọ̀ lọ àdẹ ilé kan wà tó jẹ́ kí tó yàtọ̀ díẹ̀ sí self-determination struggle wa tá a gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe. Òun náà ni ó pé a gbọ́dọ̀ defend ilẹ̀ wa against àwọn Fúlàní àròdà tó wá attack àwọn ilẹ̀ wa. Tán pa ọmọdé, tán
So, Professor, just to give a summary of some of what Professor was saying there, Professor was explaining that, the Nigerian military came out while we were on that break to say that the Yorubas campaigners or the Yoruba Nation program movement, the Biafra, linking us with the Boko Haram, linking us also with the Middle Belt that are involved in the siphon of the crude oil, that we are the ones trying to destabilize the country in 2023. So the Professor Banja Kitoye responding to that, just like Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho also made a response to the same conversation that came out from the Nigerian military, literally saying that the Yorubas, the Biafrans are all involved in trying to destabilize Nigeria. And this is what Chief Sunday Igboho said as well. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio for a while. I try to bring that up, hopefully, before we bring the... Yeah, I got that there. Yoruba Nation agitation is not a security threat. Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho replies back to the Nigerian military. Chief Sunday Igboho, put out the message as the country continued to go through insecurity, but putting us in the line that the Yorubas are involved in trying to destabilize, the current situation in Nigeria is a complete false. And according to the statement that came out from Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, the Yoruba Nation activist Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo alias Sunday Igboho has described as misleading the categorization of the agitation for the Yoruba Nation as part of the threat to Nigerian peace. He was reacting to the remark credited to Director of Defense Media Operations Major General Edward Buba, who listed the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement as a threat to the peace in the Southwest Zone. According to the report, Buba, while addressing the defense correspondent last week Friday, said the armed forces of Nigeria claim that the security threat in the various geopolitical zones differ, pointing out that the major threat is coming from the Southwest, remain the Yoruba Nation agitators. But Dr. Igboho, in a statement signed, made available to newsmen in Ibadan, your state said the federal government under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should disregard such security report, which he described as a blackmail. We are conscious of the noble effort of the armed forces of Nigeria to tackle terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and other forms of criminalities, but we take exemption to the wrong and baseless position of the Director of the Defense Media Operation, Buba, for identifying the Yoruba Nation campaigner as a major threat to the peace in the Southwest. This is not only from far truth, but also a flimsy excuse, which showcase the failure of the military to tackle the menace of the insecurity which has threatened the peace in Nigeria, most especially during the immediate past regime of President President Muhammadu Buhari.
Listeners, it's quite an interesting development from the statement that Yomi read from Professor Akintoye, and then we have Chief Sunday, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho as well. But before I come on that, Omo Yoruba for life. Hi, says Happy New Year, Archie, White Lion, and all the Starr Radio UK. Thanks for keeping us all informed, and thank you very much for your support there as well, patronizing our service.
They are now buying certificates in Togo and Benin Republic.
Do you blame them for buying certificates from Togo and Benin Republic when universities can close? Yeah. Well, the president can go and get a certificate from there, right? But let's come to the substantive issue pertaining to this insecurity thing, and the fact that Buba is saying that, well, the insecurity and the destabilization, this agenda that is going on is being perpetrated by the Yoruba Nation, those who are vying for Yoruba Nation self-determination, and the Nnamdi Kanu and his group as well, that's from the southeast as well. Now, when we come to the Yoruba Nation, I said I've monitored it. I monitored it from the word go because of affiliation with Mr. Olayomi Koiki and Chief Dr. Sunday Go. Now, I never saw a time that during the rally, somebody threw a stone or did anything. So we were monitoring it so very closely. Then we were asking ourselves the question: what will the security agencies do? And we knew one time that there was one security agency who tried to infiltrate. You remember that one? And the person was caught in one of the rallies. Yeah, I remember it very, very well. Now, when it comes to the Southeast as well, they've been saying that look, you've proscribed us, you arrested Nnamdi Kanu from, illegally brought him to the country. The courts have said that release him. You've not done that. And other they are saying that release the man. You are not doing that. Now, what happened in Plateau? Was it the Yoruba people who went to do that, or was it IPOP people who went to do that? Yomi?
Well, everybody knows that whatever has happened in Plateau State is the Fulani, Boko Haram, and they've actually come out with videos, to prove that they were able to, to find their way into 20 communities. And like I said, not just on Christmas Day, there's been more 2 or 3 attacks just after that as well. So the question is, why is the military now bringing the situation of the insecurity to the Yorubas and likewise the Biafrans as well?
In a Ghanaian adage, there's something. When they want to carry something, they take a cloth and they fold it in a way so that it becomes something like a buffer. They put it on their head, then you can carry the load on your head. Now, there is saying that when you cannot carry your load because it's too heavy for you, you try to blame it on that buffer thing that you're putting on your head. And that seems to be what the military is doing, because this is a big failure on their part. And they think that they have to now accuse the Yoruba Nation or the IPOP for the insecurity in the country. Bring it on. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. We'll go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories and what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, sir.
Well, the social media, is now full of the Tinubu's speech over the weekend, and exactly like we say in the last couple of days in terms of what we've been hearing. Many Nigerians, are following most of what is happening in the country, and it seems the inflation is the real problem. As we speak right now, the inflation is getting very high. But what is trending this morning? It seems that the Chief of Staff is trending, Futa is trending. Likewise, Dele Alake is trending. I know Dele Alake is the Minister for Mineral Resources as we speak. N-Power is trending. These are some of the things, but Japa is the trending. Many people are now asking us on Starr Radio UK and the sister broadcast to do a program so that we can enlighten many Nigerians that wants to travel out of the country. Let's look at the one of what I've just picked up. Just got my Canadian visa. Excited to see you all in Canada soon. Well, you can see that many Nigerians still want to Japa, but as the Japa continue to be also affecting a lot, like I said, 6 family members that have arrived in UK just in December, no jobs. They've been able to settle into an accommodation, but for how long will that equivalent of 150,000 naira to pay for the house rent here in UK? I don't think that is going to be very, very feasible or viable, whatever we want to say on that. But again, Japa is still happening because Nigerians are now very fast losing hope with the current state of situation in Nigeria. And let's now go back again, as we speak again, the Simon Ekpa, the PM of the Biafra government in exile, posted again some few hours breaking this year 2024, Biafra will take the delegitimization of the terrorist Nigerian government and the Biafra self-defense to all Nigerian military bases and the barracks within the Biafra land. The Nigerian army killing children, women, and vulnerable youth, burning the villages and market within Biafra land has now been validated as terrorist status, and the Biafra army must now engage their bases in order to weaken them this year. They also spoke yesterday, in terms of their New Year broadcast as well. That as a country, we hope that the new administration, rather than trying to avoid it, as at yesterday, Nnamdi Kanu's health continue to not be very, very good. We hope that the situation will not escalate. Right now, Biafra is saying we will take our message into the Nigerian military base in 2024, which is where we are right now.
Well, listeners, this is Star Radio UK. Miss Olayomi Koiki has brought you all the updates from Nigeria at the moment, but we'll do our best to bring you some more from there. But when it comes to the recalling of ambassadors and all that, when is Tinubu going to appoint new ones, especially the one in Benin?
Well, I mean, the one in Benin, Buratai, the one that wanted to also be the one to be, looking after his clan, Buhari, as at the time after the attack and almost the assassination on Chief Dr. Sengu in Sunday Igboho's house on the 1st of July 2021. It's no longer the ambassador, they've all been recalled, just as the one in UK, apart from those representing Nigeria at the United Nations as we speak right now. And that is because the president was traveling to UN General Assembly last year, and he needed people that are already in that position to continue to make things work for him. But who are going to be appointed, we don't know, but I'm sure lists will have been sent to the president, especially within their caucus, and we hope that we can have an high commissioner in UK that Nigerians can literally have a conversation with, just as so many other countries around the world, where right now it's just acting, that is acting on behalf of the government, but many would love to see a proper government representative like the high commissioner representing them.
Wow, listeners, thank you very much. And as some of you did ask, or suggested, we'll be organizing that to see whether we can bring you some information pertaining to your travels. If you want to travel, no, I'm not talking about the daily travel, no. But if you want to jackpot, as we put it, yes, what can be done, what can't be done. I mean, with everything, you think that you come in and there's no job for you, and now to pay 150,000 naira a month. Where are you going to get that money from? Well, that is £1,000 here for accommodation only. I mean, talk less paying all the other bills. We'll be telling you more about that as the year unfolds. We've got lots of things that we're going to be bringing your way, but don't worry at all. We'll make sure we package nice things for you. Yomi, before we go.
Well, it's the beginning of the year, 2024. It's still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Good afternoon to those of you around the world. Good morning to those of you in the East Coast as well. And I leave you in the good hands of Archie. And like Archie said, the year has a lot, to offer, and we'll be doing our best, to make sure that the information are well in there. But make sure you follow us, especially on the Star Radio UK, Twitter, on the social media, so that you will not be missing anything that is coming from this network.
Thank you, Yomi, and have a lovely day. We'll catch up later. Bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to go to other parts of the world to look at what is happening there. Well, there was a plane crash on the runway in Japan that has brought about a lot of worries there. But fortunately, all those who were on that flight, yes, were rescued, but those who were on the Coast Guard flight as well, Coast Guard plane, 5 of them allegedly have been found, but they've not told us about their status at the moment, whether they've been buried, whatever that has gone on. But I'll be telling you more about that in a moment. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial. We take a quick break, we come back, and we continue with the show. This is Star Radio UK, and this is the morning show.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prom, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prom Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. It is all coming away from Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to just gone past 12 o'clock. And wherever you are listening to us from, let me take this opportunity to say Happy New Year to you. And we pray that this year will be a good year for us, no matter what is going on, the challenges and everything. Because once you lose hope, then the people will think that, well, there is no hope for tomorrow. But keep on keeping on. Yes, some way, somehow, we manage to get things through, right? Yes. Okay, now let's move on to some other parts of the world to look at some of the other stories making the rounds. Yes. Let me say thank you very much to my daughter, Donna, for that lovely gift that she gave me. You know, most of the time I get my fingers getting cold, my hands getting cold. But she gave me a very nice warmer. Yes, so I can use that to warm my hand. This morning, I thought, that's quite useful, and that has helped me a great deal. But wherever you are, let me say thank you very much, Donna, for that wonderful gift. And to every one of you who joined us in one way or the other, making sure that we are able to come your way each time and every time. God richly bless you. All right, then. Now let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds this morning. As I did say, now if you want to hop in, feel free, call us on 0208-133-2257 or 58 0208-133-2257 or 58, and we will bring you everything that you got to know. Okay, so when it comes to the other stories making the rounds from the African continent, well, as I say, Sosé Masra, an opposition figure, was announced as the Prime Minister of the Fifth Republic of Chad following a referendum. The announcement came as Saleh Kebzabo, the previous Prime Minister, had just resigned. The news was broadcasted live on national television, but the reaction within Masra political party, the Transformers in N'Djamena and the streets of the capital were mixed. Now, while supporters gathered at the Transformers Party headquarters to celebrate, there were also voices of skepticism and disappointment among the populace. Now, a resident of N'Djamena expressed both optimism and disappointment. Now, in a quote, the president said, we have confidence that he will rise to the challenge his predecessor couldn't meet. It is a positive move, but negatively, I expect Masra to be the president back in the days of the Marshal. He was offered the opposition but declined. So why refuse to serve the father and now serve the son? This is why many young people are disappointed today, because many have suffered due to Masra. Some feel humiliated and betrayed. A supporter of the Transformers voiced her concerns. But interestingly, do you think that maybe this move and this acceptance by the new Prime Minister is something that is good? Because they went for a referendum, people were saying that wow, this some family that's trying to stamp the authority on the nation, bringing that referendum and everything. But well, they managed to say, okay, let's bring an opposition person to become the leader of government business, that's Prime Minister, and that's what seemed to be going to happen. So let's see, who knows, maybe it will change things there. Police in Kenya suspect a man was attacked by a lion while riding a motorcycle. Now, police in Kenya on Monday recovered the body of a man believed to have been attacked by a lion while he was riding a motorcycle near the national park. It talks about saying that the police were notified by community members of an abandoned motorcycle along a road near the Rare forested area near the Shimba Hills National Reserve. Officers saw lion footprints that led from the motorcycle to a thicket where they found the remains of an unknown dead man, according to a police report. the lion population was declining in Kenya just over a decade ago, primarily due to human-wildlife conflicts. The government listed lions as endangered with an estimated population of 2,000 in 2010. A more recent survey put the number at 2,489, and may the soul of this individual rest in perfect peace. Well, how come he was attacked? Did he see the lion? Did he slow down? Oh boy. What a way to go. Okay. Now, in other stories as well, making the rounds on the African continent, landlocked Ethiopia took the first step towards gaining access to the sea on Monday, signing an agreement in the capital of Addis Ababa with the breakaway Somali region of Somaliland to access the Somaliland coastal line. The memorandum of understanding was signed by Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali and Somaliland President Musa Bihi Abdi. As part of the deal, Somaliland plans to lease a 20-kilometer, that is 12.4-mile stretch of land along its coastline to Ethiopia to establish a Marine Force base, Abdi said at the signing. Now, with the population estimated at over 120 million, Ethiopia is the most populous landlocked country in the world. I see. The agreement strengthens the security, economic, and political partnership between Ethiopia and Somaliland, a statement from the Ethiopian Prime Minister said. Somaliland's President Abdi said the agreement included a statement that Ethiopia will recognize Somaliland as an independent country in the near future. Now, Somaliland seceded from Somalia more than 30 years ago, but is not recognized by the African Union or United Nations as independent state. Somalia still considers Somaliland part of its territory, and reactions by officials from there were swift. Somalia is indivisible. Its sovereignty and territorial integrity is uncompromisable. Abdirizak Omar Mohammed, Somalia's Petroleum and Mineral Resources Minister, have said. So, have they made a mistake? Should they have gone to Somalia itself to negotiate that rather than negotiating with Somaliland? Well, listeners, well. People are doing all sorts, right? Yes. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, a final story from that part of Africa, and then we'll move on straight to where Ghana as well. Now, Peter Magubani was the eye behind the lens which captured the 1960 Sharpeville massacre, or the trial of Nelson Mandela in 1964. The South African photographer passed away on Monday, January 1st, aged 91. The Nation's Editors Forum said it had been informed of Magubani's death by his family. Photographed 40 years of apartheid in South Africa, he became a target of the then government after photographing a protest outside a jail where Mandela's then wife, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, was being held in 1969. The photographer was imprisoned numerous times during his career and subjected to a 5-year ban that prevented him from working or even leaving his home without police permission. The award-winning photographer began his career at a South African magazine, Drum, gained fame at the Rand Daily Mail newspaper, and worked for Time magazine and Sports Illustrated, earning international recognition. While he photographed some of the most brutal violence, he also created scenes, images of everyday life and apartheid that resonated just as much. Dr. Peter Magubani would have turned 92 on January 18. May he so rest in perfect peace. There are people, trailblazers, they managed to stand and fight for our cause, and that is why we see all ourselves free, and some way we are able to sit and make lots of noise. Why? Because somebody set the trail for all of us. But listeners, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, and this year as well, a new what do you call it? Guinness World Record determined to be broken, and a new one set by Ghana's chef Faila Abdul Razak, and it begins the Guinness World Record cook the longest time, cooking for a longest time. Well, we'll see what happens there. Okay, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. I'm moving on straight to some of the stories making the rounds in Ghana as well. In a New Year's message to the Ghanaian public, the former President John Mahama has assured Ghanaians of building the nation they envisage. In his New Year's message, the ex-president expressed gratitude to the Almighty God for guiding the people throughout the entirety of 2023. The National Democratic Congress flag bearer also called on Ghanaians to be thankful for God's protection through 2023. By the grace and mercies of the Almighty God, 2023 has ended and we have entered 2024. Let us praise and thank our Maker for protecting and preserving us. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Let's see what the president also said there. Just bear with me whilst I try to scroll in and look for that story as well, a statement from the president as well. The president Kufuor says that with hard work and determination, the people of Ghana will secure their future. In a new message, Mr. Kufuor recognized that Ghana still faces lingering challenges and highlighted the economic difficulties endured by Ghanaians. He, however, conveyed optimism about Ghana's ongoing recovery and resilience. In a quote, he said, "I wish all Ghanaians a happy and a prosperous 2024. Even though we are not completely out of the woods, I am confident that with hard work and determination, Ghana will make it, and collectively we will secure our futures," President Akufo-Addo said. Okay, so how optimistic are you when it comes to all these political statements that are being made by various leaders on various platforms? Listeners, Starr Radio UK. In a final story before we leave Ghana, the former President John Dramani Mahama has recently come under fire for comments about the integrity of the West Africa examination, West Africa Senior Secondary Certificate Examination, WASSCE. The National Democratic Congress flag bearer raised concerns about the authenticity of the 2023 WASSCE result, ostensibly due to massive passes record. Mahama allegedly alleged instances of lax invigilation and teacher involvement in student cheating, warning of potential consequences for the country's educational system. In many places, they left the children to cheat. You go to places and the teachers are conniving with the students to cheat. The effect will be seen later, President Mahama said. Now, those attacking him included Vice President Bawumia, Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah, the Education Ministry, the ruling New Patriotic Party, as well as the Abronya NDC regional chairman of the MPP. They hold that Mahama was belittling the efforts that the young SHS graduates deserve for excelling in their pre-tertiary exams. Some went as far as stating that Mahama was only seeking to taint the success of government's free SHS program. But is I? Well, he's seeing something that is going on, but I don't think they see it that way. But whatever it is, well, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. We're now going to move on to other parts of the world because okay, just bear with me. Yes, I got it. When it comes to some of the stories making the rounds, well, there are sad ones, some in the sports and others as well. But with a story that we broke this morning, or we brought your way this morning on the broadcast, it says that 5 people aboard a Japanese Coast Guard plane have died after their aircraft collided with a passenger plane at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. The Coast Guard plane was due to deliver aid to areas hit by Monday's deadly earthquakes. All 379 people on board the burning Japan Airlines plane were evacuated. The airline said dramatic footage showed passengers fleeing the burning Japan Airlines plane on inflatables, slides, and running across the tarmac. Now, fire ripped through the Japan Airlines flight 516, which are taken off from the Hokkaido in northern Japan nearly 2 hours earlier. Well, a sad one there. May the lives of those who lost their lives, may the souls of those who lost their lives be rest in perfect peace. Now, Japan's Prime Minister have extended his condolences after the 5 condemned death. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has just spoken to a group of reporters live on TV, confirming 5 of the 6 crew on the Coast Guard plane died while trying to get help to people affected by yesterday's earthquake. He extended his condolences to those who died while trying to serve people in need in the Noto area of Ishikawa Prefecture. Okay, listeners, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. There as well. In another sad development as well, South Korea's opposition leader Lee Jae-myung has been stabbed in the neck during a visit to the city of Busan. Mr. Lee, who narrowly lost 2022 presidential election, sustained a 1 centimeter laceration on the left side of his neck, reports have said. He was airlifted to hospital. Doctors say the wound is not life-threatening. The 66-year-old man who attacked him said he had intended to kill Mr. Lee. Yonhap news agency reported the motive for the attack is unclear. The brazen daytime attack shocked the nation and prompted condemnation from political parties and politicians, including current president Yoon Suk Yeol. Okay, so what prompted that? I'm sure that we'll be getting more of that during the course of the week. We hope to bring you all that. What goes into the mind of people for them to behave that way? How stressed are they? What pushes them to that limit? Okay. In another development, a Chinese teen has been found alive after U.S. cyber kidnapping. Exchange student Kai Zhuang is discovered freezing in the Utah Mountains after parents pay a ransom. So who kidnapped him? And it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. In other developments as well, Russia has hit Ukraine's biggest cities, leaving 5 dead after Vladimir Putin vowed to intensify attacks there as well. And the final story before we come to the UK front as well. Now, Jimmy Lai has pleaded not guilty, my apologies, to national security. The story says that Hong Kong pro-democracy media mogul Jimmy Lai has pleaded not guilty after a case against him resumed today. Mr. Lai, 76, faces life imprisonment if found guilty of threatening Hong Kong's national security and colluding with foreign forces. His case has sparked an international outcry and is widely seen as a test of Hong Kong's judicial independence. His landmark trial started on December 15 after a long delay and is expected to last for about 80 days. Mr. Lai has been held in solitary confinement since December 2020, following his arrest for fraud and for his involvement in protests in the former British territory. He is a UK citizen, and the British Foreign Secretary David Cameron is among those who have called for his release. Well, they will tell him that he is first somebody from Hong Kong, therefore China, and but it's quite interesting when it comes to things like that, how they now try to now come and describe individuals there. But this is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But Epstein's list, name list, is unsealed. People with links to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein will be named for the first time in court documents. But the question is, who and who and who are going to be named? The disgraced millionaire mixed with high-profile figures from the worlds of politics, businesses, and royalty. It goes on further to say there are 187 different individuals known as John or Jane Doe in the court papers, and these will now be given their real names. Their identities are being revealed under a settled lawsuit against Maxwell, the daughter of a British media tycoon. She's serving a 20-year-old prison term for 20-year prison term for the crimes she committed with Epstein. The defamation lawsuit was brought by Virginia Jeffrey, one of Maxwell's accusers, and at the time the names were kept secret under a court-ordered sale. But last month, a judge in New York ruled that these could now come to light. But what is going to be the impact of all that? Now, Judge Loretta Preska noted that many of the individuals named in the lawsuit have already been publicly identified by the media or in Maxwell's criminal trial. She added that many others did not raise an objection to the release of the documents. Some of the names on the list will remain sealed, including those belonging to child victims, the judge said in her ruling. And some individuals may have appeared more than once under different Doe numbers. So the exact number of names to emerge is unknown. But who are some of the names that's going to be there? There will be a mixture of people accused of wrongdoing, people making these accusations, and others who were potential witnesses to crimes. There could be employees of Epstein or people who visited his home or went on his private plane. Prince Andrew is expected to be on the list. The court filing includes 40 documents of evidence from a woman who has made accusations against Prince. Joanna Joberg claims Prince Andrew groped her while sitting on a couch inside Epstein's Manhattan apartment in 2001. Now, Buckingham Palace has previously said allegations are categorically untrue. But what is going to happen there? Lots more going to be coming your way. We're going to be telling you more about all that. But this is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, here in the UK, let me bring you that, and we can bring the program to a close. Now, information coming through is that Rooney has been sacked as the coach for which team? Let me tell you that. And cleverly insists all the asylum case backlog has been cleared. Okay, a good one there. But family pays tribute to teenage killed in stabbing, and strong winds from Storm Hank battering parts of the UK this morning. And colossal sea monster skull goes on public display. Well, what monster is that? Okay, so let's start it from here. Now, Primrose Hill, Harris always stood up for for what was right. Now, the sister of a 16-year-old boy who was fatally stabbed on New Year's Eve has said that their family are devastated. Harry Pittman from Haringey was stabbed in Primrose Hill, North London, at about 23 hours 40 GMT on Sunday. His older sister, Taylor 19th, paid tribute to him and said he always stood up for what was right. She said in a statement that I keep on expecting him to come through the front door. His dinner is still in the oven. Mom can't bring herself to remove it. She added, I'm devastated. He was my baby brother. May his soul rest in perfect peace. And the perpetrator of whatever callous and senseless killing should be brought to justice. All right then. Now, in other stories as well, cleverly has said the Home Secretary has rejected claims the government was wrong to say the backlog of older asylum claims have been cleared, despite new figures showing thousands of cases remain unresolved. Rishi Sunak pledged to abolish the asylum backlog by end of 2023. Now, new figures show the total asylum backlog stands at 99,000. James Cleverly said every single legacy application made before asylum laws were changed in 2022 had been processed. The Home Office were still looking at 4,500 complex cases, some involving security concerns, Mr. Cleverly admitted. The government says the cut in the total number of asylum claims is due to resolving legacy backlog of application, those made before 28 June 2022. But critics have accused the government of manipulating the figures. Mr. Cleverly said that the cut in the asylum backlog is due to tenfold increase in the pace at which we complete the processing. The government enhanced the asylum system by adding more people, refining process, and implementing real accountability, Mr. Cleverly has said there as well. So coming your way from Starr Radio UK, one more story, and then we'll bring the program to a close. And this time around, the body overseeing school inspections must listen to the criticism it has received following the suicide of head teacher Ruth Perry. Its new chief says a coroner ruled a critical Ofsted report contributed to her death. Now, Sir Martin Oliver said Ofsted had to ensure high standards, but admitted it could also be far more empathetic. Inspectors will receive training around mental health at the start of the new term. Now, meaning no routine inspection will happen until later in January. Since the inquest into Mrs. Perry's death, head teachers' unions have demanded a pause to inspection. In December, a coroner concluded that an Ofsted inspection of Caversham Primary School in Reading had contributed to the suicide of Mrs. Perry, 53, as she waited for the publication of a report downgrading her school from outstanding to the bottom category, inadequate. Well, it is Starr Radio UK, and this is where we'll bring the first edition of the morning show for the year 2024 to a close, and it's been a pleasure coming your way. I hope to see you tomorrow, God willing, where we'll be unveiling more of the stories making the rounds this morning to you, or wherever you are. Don't touch the dial. It's been a pleasure coming your way. I am Archie, and I know you were there as well. May you have a lovely day, and as we say on this platform, may Nigeria not happen to you. But let's enjoy this tune. One from 2023, all right? And it's from Afreye Wuta. It says, country hot. Is it really hot? Or the political leaders are fanning the flames of fire into it? Or maybe his citizens actually are feeling something else rather than the real temperature. Whatever it is, you'll be the judge of that. But wherever you are, have a lovely day till I come your way tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
Hungry man say fix the country. Bellefou say fix yourself.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
Country hot, Charlie, country hot, but everybody feel the heat, even the king they feel the heat, so we all they pray for change. We say fix the country,
They say fix yourself.
aye. Fix the country,
We say fix yourself.
Hey, tell me who be the country, tell me you be the country.
Fix yourself.
We say fix the country.
They say fix yourself.
Aye. Fix the country.
We say fix yourself.
Hey, tell me who be the country. Tell me you be the country.
Fix yourself.
Who want our plenty? The movie festive. Who want our plenty? The movie festive. Do we get to go? Plenty go. But we still they borrow they go. To get a job, baby, who you know? We live like cops in a barrel. Shayo, Babeshi and low. Hey, we say fix the country.
They say fix yourself.
Aye. Fix the country.
We say fix yourself.
Hey,
Tell me who be the country. Who be the country.
now you be the country.
Fix yourself.
I wanna hear that. Hey, we say fix the country.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
Fix the country.
We say fix yourself.
Hey,
Tell me who be the country. Me be the country. You be the country. Fix yourself.
I hear that. Your minimum wage.
Hey, Charlie.
The government will pay for
Boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.